All right, hello and welcome everyone to the RVFY Intro with me, Smriti Goswami. And we are starting with something really, really interesting. Just bear with me.
I can't stop smiling with what we are starting. I'm so excited. I've been super excited about it all day since Smriti and I discussed this. So okay, guys. So the thing is,
dance and it looks like this. I like to dance and it looks like this.
can you guys hear the audio?
With a little bit of robot, gotta hit it, get it, love it, hit it.
Okay, so you don't have to have your camera on, but my request to you would be to move to this music, like however you would like to. And nobody's watching. Okay? Are we up for it? Well, I'm going. I don't know what you guys are doing. I'm just doing this. Smriti, the audio is a little on the lower side.
Unable to hear the audio.
Yeah, Smriti, people are unable to hear the audio. Okay, Smriti is dancing for sure. Smriti, people are unable to hear the audio.
Every time I feel myself get attention, maybe too much coffee did it. I pump up the music, pump up the click. I pick up the sound till I'm keeping it. Then I give it a half.
The speed is a little off, Smriti. There's something with the speed.
Right, big and fantastic. It's lifting like I know gymnastics. I like to shake a leg. I like to nod my head. I like to make a snow angel. I like it in my bed. But don't give me no superstar unless you got a good nose. Smile with your hips, smile with your hips, smile with your hips. My kind of magic is so amazing. I feel like dancing. I feel like dancing. And it looks like this. I like to dance and it looks like this. I like to pop and lock, hit you with a little bit of robot. Gotta hit it, get it, love it, let it get a little silly with the lyrical ridiculousness. I like to shake a leg. I like to nod my head. I like to walk into a party with a pirouette. A little goes a long way, like a soul train line in the hallway. It's your way, my way, all day. My kind of I like to dance and it looks like this. I like to dance and it looks like this. You like to dance and it looks like this. Smile with your hips, smile with your hips, smile with your hips. My kind of dance. Every time I feel myself getting frantic, maybe too much coffee did it. I pump up the music, pump up the click. I pick up the speed till I'm leaving it. Then I give it a half tip, and just like magic, I feel like I'm back and my body's electric. I'm feeling electric and super fantastic. It's lifting like I know gymnastics. I like to shake a leg. I like to nod my head. I like to make a snow angel by lying in my bed. But don't give me no job unless you got a good one. And smile with your hips, smile with your hips, smile with your hips. My kind of magic is
Sorry, hold on.
I could go on, I think.
Okay, just 1 minute. All right.
Maybe
so,
we could start with Anandita's question.
yeah, Anandita, can you start off with your question again?
Yeah, so for everybody who's joining right now and listening to the recording in the future, we just started the Right Voice for You intro call with Smriti Goswami. And my first question to her was about presence, how, we are extremely present in a situation. For me, yesterday, I went for a dance, a social dancing event, and there were people with different levels of skill and expertise. And having done access for a few years and all of that, asking my body and my being to be present. So I was present, and then I got overwhelmed because there were so many people, and so many of them were so much better than I was. So my question to Smriti was like, you're being present and then you get overwhelmed. What tools can you use when you are in that state of overwhelm?
Okay, so first of all, the first thing I'll start off with is that does that overwhelm belong to you? Who does all that overwhelm belong to? First of all, be present with that. And definitely, send it all back to the sender with consciousness attached. Secondly, when you start becoming aware of other people's judgments and you start getting overwhelmed, you think others are much better than you, ask yourself, who are you making greater than you? Okay, and what are you unwilling to be that if you were willing to be that would open up a whole new world of possibilities for you? When you're being overwhelmed, how much are you aware that people are just looking at you and lusting after you? They just want to be close to you. They're just so fascinated by you. Most of us start thinking, oh my God, I'm a misfit. I don't really belong here. Everybody's dancing so well. How old were you when you decided that you are not choosing to receive anybody's, you're not willing to receive any judgments or any lustful glances from anyone, and you shut your body down, you shut everything down? When did you choose to do that? Start becoming present to all these things, because as human beings or humanoids, we are here to just be present with every energy, with everything. But someday we start getting, worked up because we start perceiving so much that's going on with other people and what's going on in the universe, and the whole thing just goes for a six. So how much are you waiting for everybody to like you? This is in general for everyone. How much do you resist receiving? What greatness are you unwilling to step into? And how much more hate would you have to be willing to receive? The thing is, sometimes we also go into overwhelm because we perceive there are people who are jealous, who are not, who are just looking at us, and you just start, whatever you're judging yourself for at that moment is what you're perceiving from other people. And that's what starts creating a real amount of funk in your universe. So ask yourself, okay, what greatness are you avoiding with this? And what would happen if you were willing to be great, to be judged? And how much can you actually expand into greater receiving? How much are you actually contracting and shrinking when you start getting overwhelmed? What exactly is going on at that moment? So somewhere also there is that space of choosing to be perfect. So, you start getting overwhelmed because in your mind, you are judging yourself as, I'm not perfect. I haven't reached there as yet. Some others are dancing so well. So it's just a whole lot of energies that you're receiving. So few years ago, so when I wanted to paint, okay, and I was like, okay, if Smriti, is going to paint, it has to be the best. I have to be perfect. So someday we start looking for being perfect or perfectionism, and that doesn't really work for us. So I went and I conducted an art workshop for underprivileged kids. And I just opened my phone and I was like, okay, what should we paint? So they all were scrolling through the phone with me, and then they were like, okay, let's paint this. And within like the next 5 to 10 minutes, I just created a painting. They watched me paint, and then we put it up on the blackboard there. like we pinned it up for them. And I handed out paper and I handed out paint and brushes and everything. Most of them were actually holding the brushes for the first time. And they just started painting. They were not comparing each other's paintings. They were not even sticking to what I had painted. They were just using that as a reference, but they were creating their own stuff. And literally the joy in the faces, on their faces, that was so phenomenal that I realized that here they are, they're not waiting to be perfect. They're okay to be judged, but they are just having so much fun creating those paintings. So next time when you're going out, when you're dancing in front of people, what if you could just be willing to just receive you without any agendas, without worrying about who's looking at you, whether they can receive you or not, whether they're judging you, it doesn't matter. You being everything you are, you receiving you, is when everybody else will also start receiving you. So I had a friend who's, I know someone whose child had a particular disease. And so when she used to be out in the world, okay, and I would see the mother, the way she was being with her child, like she was literally treating her child like an absolute normal kid, without any apology, without anything. And all of us, when we used to interact with that child, we were also being that same energy. Because, especially when people have kids with special needs, they have this different energy about themselves, which doesn't really, so what they are thinking, all the judgments that they have, they start projecting it out into the world. But I saw this mother who was just being so, she was just being so beautiful with that kid, the way she would interact and everything. So everybody else also started interacting the same way, right? Now, when you are looking at what you think about yourself is how people will start perceiving you. So if you are not willing to value yourself, or if you're constantly judging yourself or pulling yourself down or thinking, oh, I'm not good enough, or others are so much better than me, then that's the energy which others start perceiving. And then you start perceiving it from them. And then that whole space of overwhelm starts building up. Now, it's not that that's what you are in person as such, but sometimes in certain areas of your life where certain people start judging themselves, that's what others also start perceiving. And then that's what they start identifying you with. Like, what example can I give? Say, for example, you're looking at creating a class, okay? So if you have constant state of judgments about yourself, about whether you're good enough, whether you'll be able to do justice to this class. So, Anandita, I'm not talking about you in person, I'm just talking in general. So just that. So then that energy is what starts permeating out into the world. And when people are looking at you, they will also hesitate choosing you, because somewhere you're being that energy. When I'm saying you, it's in general, like each one of us, right? So that's what they start perceiving that, and then they'd rather go with somebody who's choosing to be very, very confident and who are like, yes, I will deliver. So what are you being out in the world? When you're talking about right voice for you, it's more about, this class is more about learning to receive yourself so dynamically that nobody can ever make you feel less about yourself again. We are so focused on people pleasing that, yeah, you have a question, Ananda? You were going to say something?
Smriti, when you're talking about receiving, Sachin Arora has put on a question in the group saying how to be in the receiving mode. So yeah, I mean, just wanted to.
Yeah, I will come to that, Sachin. So receiving mode, that's interesting. So when I'm talking about receiving yourself, it's more about where you learn to value yourself so dynamically that nobody ever can make you feel less. So that's what exactly what I was talking about. See, we are so focused on pleasing people, for not willing to be hated, not willing to ruffle feathers. So we keep choosing a very, very mediocre life for ourselves, okay? So that we can just be only slightly great, but not great enough, just slightly great, so that people, so don't exclude us, but we are still there. So what's happening is we end up getting stuck in stratification, where we are just looking at being at par or at level with the people we are surrounded with, right? Now, it can be family members, it can be friends. If they are not willing to choose more, a lot of times we start choosing to be the same as them, like start creating our lives based on the smallest possible postage stamp size kind of a life, which does that postage stamp that does not even go to the next pin code. It's that smaller life. But why are we creating it? We are only choosing this, right? So, and how do we create not being great? A lot of times it starts manifesting as money issues. Okay, that's one of the, or some issues with your body, or some health issues, or some sort of trauma and drama in your family and stuff. So what that does is it starts disrupting your status quo. It starts when you're creating all these issues, especially finance, something to do with your finances, body, or health, or relationships. What you're doing is you're ensuring a postage stamp size life for yourself, where you're ensuring that you don't get to choose. What you also do is you sort of remove yourself from the equation of choice. So everywhere you're not willing to be great enough to have that kind of financial freedom, where you can use money to outcreate everything, will you now destroy and uncreate it, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, for both unnatural boys, co-eds, and beyonds. Sometimes you come across people when you're dealing with them, they'll be dishonest, they won't really be your well-wishers. So what happens is the first thing you do is you stop yourself, because you can perceive the judgment and you can perceive the non-contributive energies, right? The first thing you do is choose to outcreate that. Now, I'm addressing everything. In case you feel I'm going in all different directions, I'm just following the energy of whatever is required. Yes, Anantita, you had something else to say?
Yeah, I would like to add here that then Right Voice for You is not the singing class and it's not the painting class. Because I think Christopher Hughes made it the singing class and then you made it the painting class. So
no. Blossom had made it she used to, it was more earlier, Right Voice for You was more about being on the stage and singing and everything. And I do offer painting in my class, but it's just a choice. Okay, it's not like a compulsion or anything. It's more about, it's very, very therapeutic. Like I had this 7-year-old kid in one of the Right Voice for You classes in Pune. And so he was sitting there, he wasn't participating. Aratha and I were co-facilitating that class. So we asked him, we tried to include him in the class, but he was like, no, he was just busy with his iPad and he just didn't want to interact or respond at all. And eventually, somewhere during the class, he went and sat under the chair. And the chair had all the black cover on it. So he went and sat under that, so that nobody could even see him. So we could just see a little bit of his iPad screen, the light from the iPad screen. This happened the first day. The second day, in the afternoon, we painted after lunch. He did not paint the way, what everybody else was doing. So what I usually do is I just paint along with you guys. So you have a choice to just follow the instructions or do whatever you want, and whichever colors you want and whatever shades you want. And he decided to create something totally different. But the level of change that I saw in that child was so phenomenal, so dynamic. It was a way of him. He realized that this is one way that he can express himself. And after that, he was just busy chatting nonstop. He had so many questions and such brilliant, relevant questions. And then the next whole day was all about him. And I was like, man, that's like such a huge change. So, what that painting part does is it just brings you out of the shell where it's you have to experience it. And it's not compulsory. It's only if you want to. We'll be doing it right at the end of the class in case any of you are interested in that.
So we bring money, body, we make you a painter, we make you a singer. And Smriti gives you choice with it, like, guys, really. Thank you, Smriti. Thank you. I mean, of course, the painting is such an amazing contribution because, I mean, there are so many ways of self-expression that we haven't even thought of trying because we were told that you have to be good and perfect at everything. So exactly. So yeah.
So this class is also about having an aggressive presence. What happens is we tend to sort of pull back, we start shrinking when we come across people, but it's about when we're talking about aggressive presence, it doesn't mean you have to be scary or you have to start shouting at people or be really aggressive with them. The aggressive presence is just an energy that you're being, where nobody can take you lightly. You might have the softest of looks on your face, and you might, just be the kindest person, but the energy that you are, nobody can take you lightly. So that's what it is all about, where aggressive presence is literally never adjusting your reality to suit someone else's, where you don't ever make yourself less, where you're willing to literally embrace your difference. And we tend to sort of hold back because we feel other people's opinion and all, we start giving a lot of weightage to that. This is all about choosing to be so dynamic, where you walk into a room and you just own it, right? Are you willing to have that? Have you seen how Gary is? You've seen how Dane is. They just walk into the room and they own it. No, you can't take your eyes off them. That is what this class invites you to. And yes, literally when you're just about to leap, when you're looking at stepping up, everything that can go wrong goes wrong, right? And all the things that you're afraid of literally have the possibility of showing up. But at that moment, are you willing to see what you're capable of? And if your greatest fear does reveal itself, what will you do? Will you run and hide? Or would you actually choose to step up and soar and face your greatest fear and know that it's nothing more than just a made-up excuse for you not to soar? What would you choose? The choice lies literally with you. Okay. And I think Tasha, do you have a question?
Sorry, I just joined. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I saw. I thought
invited me.
All right. Hi, welcome. So
Thank you.
I just saw that you'd unmuted yourself, so I thought maybe you had a question. No worries, I'll continue because
Sorry.
I like to keep talking. Okay, now when you're talking about right voice for you, my invitation is the world will not beg you to be great. And it might not even like it when you are. And it's unfortunately and terribly backward at its core. But most people in your life would actually prefer you to stay just where you are. Okay? You know why? Because when you're smaller or average or mediocre or afraid, then people around you don't have to question their lives. Okay? They can act like it's normal and they also choose to play safe as well. But the moment you stop choosing to be, when you stop being unhappy, when you stop making excuses, and when you step into not apologizing for your difference and actually start celebrating those differences, well, that's really intimidating. Okay. It's intimidating for the people around you, for your friends. They start moving away from you. It pushes back against the status quo, and it really upsets people who think that that's just the way it is, because you are now showing them, what if it isn't? What if we can have it all? So the world may not beg you to show up, but this class will. And if you're truly asking for more, this Right Voice for You class will invite you, will question you, and literally tickle you, and invite you to play big. And it's okay. Just get back up. That was stunning. You're doing well. You're awesome. You're great. Just keep choosing. So, and I consider it my privilege to cajole you and to invite you to more. And just know that not everyone will celebrate with you along the way as you choosing to step into your greatness. But we in the class, and all the participants in the class, each one of us will celebrate, okay? That's what most of the access classes are. Literally to crack open that shell, watch you soar, and acknowledge how beautiful and exquisitely imperfect you are when you do, okay? That's what it is all about. What if you acknowledge that you're far greater than you've ever given yourself credit for? What if you have capacities that no one has ever acknowledged, so you thought they were not valuable? What if you thought, I'm not important enough? My voice does not matter. Why should I even bother asking for something, because nobody is going to give it to me? You don't have to wait for people to give you things. You go ahead and choose. Just be the choosing one. Don't have to wait to be the chosen one. Okay? People, I've noticed this so many times. People will see you, they'll see your potency, they'll see your brilliance, they'll see your capacities and talents, but they would literally hope and wish and pray that you don't see that about yourself, right? How many of you know people around you who are like that? And what's the value of making yourself less, because there are such people who exist in this world? So if you are not willing to see your greatness, nobody else will. And that's the question that who had asked, Sachin had asked, how to be in the receiving mode. When you start receiving you, Sachin, without any judgments, without any hesitation, in totality, that's when others will start receiving you too. What other questions are there?
Harish has a question, Smriti.
What's the difference between Right Voice for You in 2019? I did this class in 2019. Every class changes, yeah. It's just what you're willing to step into next. What other capacities are you willing to acknowledge? You are no longer who you were way back in 2019. You've evolved so much. You've shown up, so you started showing up so dynamically. What if there's so much more that you can actually choose to step into now? So every class is different. Every class has different energies. If it's calling out to you, maybe there is something in this class for you. Who else? Sonu, what have you written? Okay. How do you acknowledge your, hold on, all the messages. Can you just read the message can someone just read the message for me? It's just sort of disappearing every time I read something, there's a new message coming in.
Correct. So Sonu says, painting, piloting, facilitating, dancing. Is there anything you can't do, Smriti? Thank you for showing what infinite being is.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sonu. And that's also an invitation for you to start choosing. Each one of us has that. Okay, it's just a choice to step into. And literally, I used to be the shyest kid. And even as a grown-up, I used to be the shyest person. In fact, my first foundation class, I hardly spoke. I was the quietest person in that class. So you have no idea what is hiding beneath you. So usually most of us wear these masks we have this facade that we are all hiding behind, right? We think nobody likes us. We think nobody cares about us, right? But the truth is, we are not willing to care about ourselves. We are not willing to be kind to ourselves. We are not willing to see our own worth and value. This class starts inviting you to that, to literally start receiving you so dynamically. So,
And
so
I'm going to
think
add
about it.
this. I'm going to add this, Smriti. It's like such a dynamic class. It covers everything. Like, I realized that the places where I was not willing to care for myself, look after myself, and be there for myself is where I have opened myself up to people being abusive, people being unkind. And what you said, that people will see your brilliance but will make you feel like shit. Like, I remember my professor from medical college, when I had to submit my thesis, he made my life hell the last 2 months of thesis submission, and that is very close to your final exams. And the subsequent batches, the subsequent junior batches, they told me later that Dr. Anandita, Professor so and so, uses your thesis as an example for us to follow while creating our drafts. But he made my life hell the 2 months of submission.
So I've also realized one thing: people can choose to be certain energies with you because somewhere you allow them, right? That's what starts changing. Nobody can mess with you unless you're somewhere you're subconsciously giving them permission to. So when you start receiving yourself so dynamically, you don't have time for anybody's bullshit or their abuse or anywhere where they're being mean or unkind. You're willing to show up so dynamically. And I'm telling you, it's that energy that you be that people start hesitating, even, trying to mess with you. They dare not mess with you. That's what this class starts inviting you to. So I've dealt with things with a lot of people, with my friends, with a whole lot of relatives and stuff, where people have bullied, they've been a weird energy, they've bossed around, they've done everything. But today, nobody dare do that. Nobody, right? Because I will not have it. I value myself so much that nobody dare mess with me. So that's that energy that you start being. Anandita, you remember you were asking something about last call. You asked about you have to interact with the people in the hospital, some people, and something you were talking about. It's literally the energy you be, which will determine what the outcome of that meeting would be. When you're not willing to back off or take things lightly, when you're willing to hold your ground, is when that's what will start materializing. But if you start making somebody else greater than you, or start thinking, I don't have a choice, then that's how things will manifest. So it's all about that. It's the energy you start being. And this class invites you to that. And it's not like a class where you'll be sitting and going through a manual and that's the only thing. This is a very, very interactive class. There's a lot of stuff that you will be doing. There are a lot of home plays also. And it's going to get you literally out of your comfort zone. You'll have to, it's going to really push you out of your comfort zone. Every step would be that. Pulling you out of your comfort zone. You won't know what hit you. It's a very, very different class. It's like no other Access class. So if this class is calling out to you, do join in. I'm so excited about it. It's just getting louder and louder. There are people signing up. It's in Mumbai on the 6th, from the 6th of October to 8th of October. And in Bangalore from 13th to 15th of October. For Bangalore, you can connect with Nivedita. And Nivedita, can you just raise your hand or just show up? Yeah. And for the Mumbai class, you can connect with Anandita. And maybe if you can put up the joining link here, or for them to join the WhatsApp group. There's a group where you can ask your questions. just know that your life won't be same after this class. It's very, very different. It's like no other access classes. Yes, Bhavna, you have a question?
I've just joined in. Hi.
Hi.
This is going to be it's not going to be an online class, right?
No, it can't be. Unfortunately, it's not an online class. It's going to be absolutely live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
In fact, I'd say fortunately it's not an online class.
Yeah, fortunately, because it's
That's like the first step to showing up as you, right?
Yeah, but anyway, thank you.
but you can travel. You can travel.
At the moment I cannot travel. I'm going through some ill health, so I'm not allowed
Okay.
to walk.
Okay. What else is possible?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Does anyone else have any questions?
It's a 2-day program, is it?
It's a 3-day program. Tasha,
Okay.
it's a 3-day program. It's 6th, 7th, 8th, or 13th, 14th, 15th in Bangalore, or 6th, 7th, 8th in Delhi. It's a
Okay.
3 full days class where I've already explained what all we'll be doing.
Great. And so, I was a little late, sorry. So the whole idea is to step up the self. Is that
It's
right?
about showing up so dynamically that there's no way people can ignore you. It's about showing up in your business, in your relationships, with your body, with your health, and literally in life. It's about showing up in every possible way, where people cannot just pass by you. They can't just ignore you. Your presence, it's about making your presence felt in the world. I'll just give a small example, which I think I mentioned in the previous call also, when I first attended my Right Voice for You class. And that time I went on to attend the advanced as well as the facilitators training. It was all in Mumbai. And the facilitator at that moment, during the facilitator training, she's like, hey, how come? She just looked at me and she's like, hi, how come you are here attending this class? And I was like, what just happened here? She's like, no, you're supposed to attend all the previous levels to be able to be present for the facilitators class. And I was like, well, I did attend all the levels. And she's like, no, but I'm seeing you for the first time today. And I was like, that's interesting. And so that time they used to call everybody on the stage. Okay. And I was like, there's just no way I'm going to go on the stage. I don't want to sing. There's just no way I can sing. I'm not going up on the stage. And so I told her, I said, I used to actually resist being called on the stage. So I used to just sort of make sure that you don't notice me, because she literally scanned the room to call people up on the stage. And she's like, you have an amazing ability to make yourself invisible. And that was interesting because, earlier I used to wonder, I'd been into every time I would interact with people, and later on they would just sort of look through me, or they would pretend that I don't exist. And I thought maybe I'm not worth knowing, or maybe people just don't notice me, or maybe they've forgotten that we were introduced earlier. And I didn't realize that I used to make myself invisible, so people cannot really see. When I'm saying that, it's like energetically you become invisible. Your body's still there, but you make yourself, I don't know how you do that. I really don't know how I was doing that, but each one of us has that capacity. So if you feel people don't notice you, or they just look through you, that could be one of the reasons. Those people who are in the office, and if there is an office party and somebody has ordered cake or donuts for everybody, and they'll very conveniently overlook you, I would be one of those. Because how much do you make yourself invisible that you don't even exist there energetically, right? So this is about getting out of that and really, really making your presence felt so dynamically that nobody can miss your presence, right? It's about just being that energy.
Yeah, and I wonder what that can do for your business, because that's a huge thing.
I literally had people coming up and introducing themselves to me in that class. That was so interesting. When I'd been attending classes with them throughout that week. So that's the level of difference that shows up. Who asked? What are the other questions? How much is the class for? All right, the class is for, I think about 1,16,000 or 17,000, something like that.
It's about, yeah.
1,17,000, I think, yeah. So there are no venue charges. I won't be charging for the venue, but we'll be ordering food there. So whatever shows up at that moment for the food, everybody will be paying their own. That's all. It's in town. It's in South Mumbai. It's in a beautiful club, really, really pretty. And it's got different type of seating. I'm just so looking forward to this particular class. There's just a energy and a vibe about it. And it's very different from any of the access classes. Yes.
Smriti, Bhavna has a question as to where in Delhi is it, and when and where in Delhi is it?
At this moment, it's not in Delhi, Bhavna, but whenever
you create it, Bhavna.
Yeah, and whenever you create it, Bhavna. At this moment, it's in Bangalore and Mumbai, and also in Dubai.
But Smriti, I mean, I have to tell you this, I did hear Delhi as well. I don't know what I was listening.
You never know when that will show up, but yeah, keep asking for it.
Yeah.
Actually, Nandita, so did I. I was surprised to hear Delhi.
Yes, I heard Delhi too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You never know.
You know.
At this moment, join in here.
I saw you on cruise also, doing right voice for you. And people are dancing.
What will it take? We're planning a talk to the entity sometime soon.
But you know, there's something I would like to compliment you again. That, you know, when you are talking about right voice for you class, no, you're glowing like a fair and lovely, you know. It's like you're talking so passionately about, it's not that you don't love your other classes. It's not that. All are dear, but this is something which comes from a very different space.
So, yeah, let me just say the energy speaks for itself.
Yeah.
That's what this class is all about.
You're happy talking about it only.
I'm just excited about this class. Really, really excited.
So cruise thing manifest, then please remember me.
It'll be sometime in March or May next year.
Yeah.
All right, but that won't be a right voice for you. It's going to be a talk to the entity.
Oh.
All right. Yeah. Right voice. Now's the time. Time to show up. Where are you all waiting to? Someday we will choose to show up. Now's the time. Whatever it takes, I want to be it, do it, create it. Just show up.
And if you choose this class more than once in a year, you get a repeat price. So what's possible here?
Yeah. And literally, what if you did not learn the words, I cannot? Who would you be then? And what if you had never learned the concept of, I don't know? Who would you be then? And what if that who is actually there, but is just hidden? The who that you've kept hidden. So what if all that stuff is gone and you would allow yourself to know, receive, and to be? Who would you be then? Now, would you like to find out? Come join the Right Voice You class. I wonder what other possibilities await you. And it's not just about showing up. It starts changing your business so dynamically. People literally start noticing you and your business and your products very, very dynamically. Okay. And what if you would like to actually create a life where, and a world where we all are empowered and where life is literally a moment-to-moment creation. Just keep choosing. It's all just a choice. Choosing to show up is also a choice. And at times, we don't even know what is it that's wrong with us? What is the reason why we have kept ourselves hidden? Why we're hiding ourselves? We feel people just don't know us. People cannot notice us and stuff. It's just somewhere we are not even willing to receive the judgment. So we keep ourselves hidden. There's so much I can talk about. I can go on for full 3 days just talking about this. So there's so much more. This is just 1% of what the class is all about. So if it's calling out to you, do join in. And I'm not going to ask you again. This is just an invitation. So thank you, everyone. And if you have any questions, Harish, do you have
Shall I
any
take
questions?
a picture?
Oh,
Shall I
yeah,
take a
sure. Can everyone have
Smile,
the
please.
cameras on?
Yes. Smile, please. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
everyone.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
everyone.
Lovely
And
seeing you, Bhavna.
Thank you. I showed up.
yes,
I'm so
How does
grateful.
it feel better than this?
Nice
I'm
to
so
see you,
grateful
Bhavna.
for each one of you. Yeah. Thank you so much. And
Thanks.
bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. See you.
Good night.